Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 4, Episode 11, Wake Up, was a pretty great episode for a lot of different reasons. And the episode opens up with showing how May was captured by Radcliffe and Ada. And May escapes very early on in the episode. We see her trying to escape the facility after she has a fight with Ada. It turns out that she's in a simulation, and that all of this fighting and all of her constant trying to get out was set up to keep her occupied. And it turns out Radcliffe did this because he knew that with May's personality, she would keep fighting, and also to cement that fighting attitude, he changed in her mind one of the past events. He made her succeed, and at Bahrain, of course, where she became the cavalry, he made her succeed when, in actuality she failed. So she has this fighting spirit, and she keeps fighting in the simulation even though she's never going to get her out, or get herself out, which keeps her under control. So we didn't realize that till, of course, the end of the episode, but it was interesting to see May escaping, and then to have that plot twist where we're like, oh, well, May's actually not escaping, she's, in the simulation. In the real world, really, Daisy goes with a Mace to sign the Sokovia Accord, because they want, of course, Daisy to get publicity. And while they're there, they create a plan to put these, detectors in Nadir's room so they can see what she's saying and see what's going on, of course, because she's working with the watchdogs. Well, they get caught red-handed, and Nadir calls them out in the courtroom. And we're like, how do they get caught red-handed? How does Nadir know? Well, it turns out, at the end of the episode, we figure out that Radcliffe has actually been working with Nadir all along. And then the other revelation we get, LMD May goes to Radcliffe's place because she knows that she's an android. She's figured it out, and she says, Radcliffe, what's wrong with me? And she tries to turn him in, but Radcliffe's programmed her so she can't tell on herself or tell on Radcliffe. But luckily, the other S.H.I.E.L.D. agents bust in, and they take Radcliffe away. But Fitz goes into the room later on where Radcliffe's being held, and he figures out that he's an LMD, and he shoots him in the head. And it turns out that there were two LMDs, of course. There's LMD May, and there's this LMD Radcliffe that got shot, so they didn't capture the real Radcliffe. And it turns out that, of course, that he's hiding out with the real May and Ada, and that he's working with Nadir. So there's all these different twists and turns in this episode that made Wake Up such a phenomenal episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But, all these twists and turns and all the main story wasn't the part that I enjoyed the most, which is surprising. The part I enjoyed the most was Mac's backstory. So this episode we got to see sort of Mac in an emotional place. Mac, gets together with Yo-Yo. They get frisky. And after that, he leaves without any explanation, And, of course, Yo-Yo's concerned. She thinks he's left her, that he's gone out with other women. But it turns out that Mac is actually going to comfort his ex-wife, who he had a kid with, who died early on from a disease. And this adds so much depth to Mac's character, We really feel for this guy. He's a good person. He's going back to comfort his ex-wife because she has a hard time around this time of the year because their son died. And it really brought him and Yo-Yo closer together at the end of the episode because he's been waiting and wanting to tell Yo-Yo this the whole entire time, but he hasn't found the words or found out how to. And really, Mac, it proves that Mac's not one-dimensional. He's a multi-sided character. He's really the new Trip of this show. Trip, of course, died in the Genesis chamber back in Season 2, I believe, or Season 3. And Mac's sort of taken over that role, and I really love Mac. And he's my favorite part of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., So it was great to get those character moments with him. So, overall, this episode was phenomenal. There's a lot of good things going for it. And I'd have to give it a final score of 9.0 out of 10. I hope you've enjoyed my review for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 4, Episode 11, Wake Up. Remember to like and subscribe for more Marvel content and reviews. This has been Jonesy from Jonesier TV, signing off.